People have told me that they were living in darkness, literally, until seeing our book, because all we saw in our future was potential crime. You know, we weren't inspired by anything in particular until we saw your book, and it was like shining a light on our path.
Because subway art came in it to England like a bomb, it dropped here. This book has changed my life, and one day in like early April 1986 my friends came back like from Milton Keynes going crazy that they'd seen this book in W.H. Smith's, and they were like trying to shoplift it, trying to rack it up, and they couldn't get it. And it was called Subway Art, and it was incredible. It was graffiti on trains. So then the next week, on the Monday, we sneaked up to Milton Keynes on the train, and that we were supposed to be swimming at Leighton Buzzard, but we sneaked up to Milton Keynes. I had one, and we managed to like steal it, and then we had Subway Art, and we were looking at it, and we were all excited. And then we were stealing some more stuff and boots, but then the store detectives and security grabbed us, and we got arrested, and then they confiscated the Subway Art, and then our parents went like crazy and grounded us. But then I had to wait like another month to get it for my 12th birthday, and that was the same day I got beat straight. And this is my Subway Art here that I got for my 12th birthday. I've kept it all that time. This is the actual one. Like,
yeah, when I first saw Subway Art, what I took from that was like, wow, you can paint something really big with spray paint quickly, dope, and that's what I wanted to do. So the beauty with graffiti is that it gives you all these components and these ways of painting, and it's up to you to take which bits you want. It's like like making hip hop. You sample a record, you take which bit of the record you want, and you flip it and make something else out of it.
Yeah, I'm working from Arthur Cooper photographs, but you put in other characters into the background and stuff, but making up my own pieces, and it's called the Subway Fiction series, and they're fictional pieces of graffiti. So I'm taking you back in time. Like I wasn't around in 1982, so the only way I can be in the South Bronx in 1982 is to do these fictional subway graffiti paintings that roll through the Bronx. Like, yeah.
I like the way James moves between like high culture and low culture, and there was such a big debate in like fine art whether you do something which is kind of kitsch or whether you do something which is some sort of, you know, really intellectual thing. And James doesn't give a shit about whether it's like a movie magazine from the 50s or it's Rubens, you know, and it's not even an issue for him, which is just really good. He's like moved beyond these old kind of definitions.
In like 2002 I did a big painting called Horrific, like based on scenes Hand of Doom, using the colour schemes, like a panoramic 5 metre long canvas, and Charles Saatchi bought that one and hung it in his gallery as the first graffiti art since Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring to have work paintings exhibited in Saatchi Gallery in 2004, and that is all inspired by Subway Art yet again. Like, so like, without this book there's no way I'd be an artist, like, no, because I wouldn't have had the drive, the subject matter, the obsession. Yeah, I'm a fanatic, really, yeah. It's been a while planning this, but at last we're going to go to New York, and we're going to meet the most inventive and creative subway painter in the history of New York subway, painting the legendary Blade, the Crazy Five. And then like this one here is a classic one we was just looking at. But now we're going to hopefully visit somewhere like this and get a new photograph and discuss that with Martha as well and see how New York's changed. We'll see you in New York, yeah, on the other side.
Because that's what graffiti is all about. Themselves writing, because that's what they do. They write their names, among other things, everywhere.
James Jessop in the house. I get a cab now to Brooklyn, because Brooklyn rocks the best. Boogie Fresh.
Are you ready for the
RD 357. You know, hot spot at night. J.A. man.
Rap, music, threats of assassination, guns, drugs, violence, sex. Is that all rap is about?
Even Bushwick, yeah, you were here in the 80s, forget about it. They pick the meat off your bones right now if you walk 2 blocks. It's totally predatorial. They know who, you got crack zombies out here. You know, they'd kill you, think if you had 22 cents in your pocket. They didn't care. You know, people were killing their grandmas for $3 back. You can go back and check out the New York newspaper archives. It was crazy. You know, people walk all around here, la-di-da, books, hipsters, Bill Strix and thing. Hey, you couldn't be here 20 years ago. You know, it's great, you know, but it is what it is, you know. The old New York kept people on their toes, so that was a good thing. People were more vigilant. You know, like I used to sit on Westchester Square, the train station in the morning, watching new whole cars come in when the morning rush hour crowds were. That sun hit it, the guy's reading his paper, he's forced to look up at that shiny, what the hell is this? You know, and then they like, I used to sit there and listen to the people's comments. How the hell do they do that? But there's a lot of secrets people don't know. Like you see a lot of our cars, the windows are on it. That's because I used to steal crazy glue as well. I'd go in the car and super glue the windows closed.
I've heard that forever. Like.
When, you know, somebody's always going to drop a window open, you know, to look because they can't see the stations or whatever. I think it's best that perhaps you don't ever meet your idols. That's just my thinking. So whatever thought that you have of them, that's your thought rather than the actual person. Once you meet them, like, wow, that's not who I thought him to be. Or
but if I hadn't met you, I never would have learned about super glue in the windows.
What happened to graffiti is kind of weird in a sense because started out Tacky 183, Junior 161, just writing their names really crudely.
Mighty Whitey, the uptown moneymaker, downtown heartbreaker from the city with no pity. So nice I had to name it twice, New York, New York, and if you fuck with me, you will see how much trouble I can be with my 38, my 45, my spray cans.
Then it became pieces, guys like Tracy 168 got really artistic. Then what happened was after characters and backgrounds came in.
It says here, like the first Mickey Mouse ever painted on a train by Ale. This man right here, 1974, the year I was born, and so I was like naught, and you're like just painting away doing these Mickey Mouse, and years later because of this painting we end up meeting you. Like
it's kind of, art is kind of like forever. You know, all this artwork that we have, I think it's going to outlive generations. And people are going to realize that what happened in New York really was kind of cool.
And guys like Blade started doing whole cars, and Lee, now we're at a point where people are so good that it's almost like the letters are something people throw in after they've done all these amazing painting techniques, and I don't get it anymore. When Futura did that brake car, even though it was already the 80s, that was kind of a seminal car because people started to think outside the box.
People were hating on me, right? Because they were like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is that? And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, even then I was like, come on, man, just give me this area. You know, give me the Pollock area. I was always trying to be like, you know, try to grab the abstract. But hey, who knew?
I wasn't expecting you was going to be here today, actually.
I didn't think you would.
So, but
I wasn't expecting you either.
Yeah.
How would you
Oh wait, I've got a book here, like from 1983, the catalogue that you were in Amsterdam. I'll just go and get that. I've got to show you this. It's like, yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Wow, man.
I didn't know if I could get you on the Futura Far East theme on the pink one.
Is that the one you're into?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the one. I did a copy of this painting once called After Futura, and the gallerist kept it. I left the gallery, and but there's a painting the same size. I made the same stretch frame and used spray cans, but I used oil paint here, and it's called After Futura 2000.
Yeah, you guys are, thank you. Scott, my man knows his shit.
Okay, there's a Blade hole car. There's clearly letters prominent in there, but he's got a concept. It's conceptual.
This is genius.
Yeah.
This painting is like...
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love Blade.
Right now we're just coming in last stop in the Bronx on the Notorious 6 line. We had we hired our own carriage today. I said, like, I just wanted the whole carriage to myself because we're going to meet Blade the Crazy Five. So yeah, pretty excited right now. Yeah, it's pretty unreal actually. Hey Blade, how you doing? You alright? How you doing? No way.
Just spoke to Gear on the phone.
Yeah.
He's close by.
No way. Is this the Blade mobile from Spray Can Art and that?
This is the one from Spray Can Art. I've had to call almost 40 years.
No way. I can't believe it's right here. The one from Spray Can Art that I first saw in 1987 when I was 13.
T-Bird. Yeah, hold the keys 1 second.
So now we're going to meet Gear, is it?
That's the tunnel we used to go riding in. It's like reliving your childhood over again. Going to these train stations, I haven't been here in 25 years. He did the most pieces. I guess him and Comet really, that was after I had gotten out of it. They really took over the 2s and the 5s. he kept writing, and until really, I guess it was in the late 70s, early 80s when he started buffing the trains. And then that was the end of anything, and that's when he started concentrating on canvases.
Oh my God. Started doing the graph back from 1972. I got chased plenty of times, but I was like very skinny and very fast in those days. And I was very fortunate to paint 5,000 trains and never get arrested or go to jail for graffiti. I still can't believe this to this day. That you can actually do and create things that come from within you, not because some school books or school classes or stuff taught you a way to do it. It's as you teach yourself within your own creativity of what you want to do and the way you want to do it.
That's where this train was painted. Like with WBS, this is the first Halloween car by Blade. The Crazy Five, and he's right in. We just touched the train in the splendid stick house.
Me and Comic could come here like in the daytime, like cut out of school, come here at 2 in the afternoon, knock out a couple of window down trains, and just to have something new and fresh running.
Crazy, I can't believe I just touched the train.
But not where I come from.
These are the 2s and the 5s. They're not putting those things
stickers on them.
I used to sit here and just get drunk and sit in the street and just watch your whole cars go by.
Right.
And the 6 train.
And then did you used to shout out, or then it was
No. Just you'd be very quiet because you don't want to trouble. And there's Martha on the corner. Martha!
Right, Martha, good morning, you're right, yeah.
I just found this great mural around the corner. You want to go look at it? It's totally cool. They painted the whole thing so it blends in.
Looking for Howe Avenue, one of the pictures, one of our main spots to take pictures back in the day, late 70s, early 80s. The buildings behind us, you can actually see the original buildings from back in the day that have been refurbished, but they were all gutted out and burnt to the ground.
I thought that it was invented in New York because of the way New York was at the time, with going bankrupt. Vast empty lots, unguarded yards, things that maybe you wouldn't find in Scandinavia, say. So it never really crossed my mind that graffiti would spread. I was wrong.
Unfortunately, the poverty and I think the poor educational system, the lack of community services, the lack of places for kids to hang out and play and be educated contributed to what today is a beautiful art form. But for those people that grew up in that era, it was a very difficult thing to live through, and graffiti just happened to be something very special that people did.
But I mean, I couldn't imagine a lot of stuff you see in subway art from Martha Cooper and Henry Chalfant. You actually see whole buildings in the background where you'll see every building is just burnt out, and then one building with windows in it where people actually work and bust their ass all day working. And then you come home and the building you lived in is on fire, and you're just chucked out into the street. It was a horrible way to be. I still can't believe to this day that I actually came through all of that hard type of hardcore life, and that actually came out after to be a normal person.
Martha bigged me up in the new subway art. See, Martha had the street shot.
Yeah.
Which to me, Henry did his thing, Martha did her thing.
Yeah.
Right? Henry was a graffiti documentarian in that paced up style of standing on the platform, and
that's
Martha
it.
was a fucking photographer. She worked for Nat Geo. She was already legitimate, and she was suddenly observing oh shit, look at life after my work kind of, and what's happening around me.
And that Midge car, that was also along Howe, but a little further. That was my spot. It was pretty much all vacant lots at the time. It gave me a clear view of the train coming. Look at all of this. This was all vacant lots here, and now we got suburban housing.
The Midge?
Yeah, it was from the other side.
You can't even get a picture now because they put a big billboard in front of it.
But imagine that now, if they had those posters, you might not have been able to get, innit?
The thing I always look for, I didn't like them against the sky. I wanted the background. That one is against the sky.
Yeah.
But I wanted a building behind it.
You gotta know all these buildings that are behind
And see what just happened there, how one just crisscrossed? You could stand and wait for 6 hours, and then just when the train that you wanted would come, the other one would.
Those little guys, they're supposed to be M&M men, but they're really mescaline and acid tabs with faces on them.
Oh, I don't think when I was interviewing you about that train, you told me that.
It reminds me of like Edward Monk, the Scream with the face. It's
Yeah,
got that
Henry
kind of
Chalfant
vibe.
always said that.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
But we didn't tell each other when we heard that there was another train. It was sort of a little competition.
Not a little.
Oh, okay, it was a big competition. We just shut up and shot. You couldn't take it from this side until later in the day. They would tell me that it was either on the morning side or the afternoon side. No, it never turned around. Midge did used to call me, and he knew the afternoon side and the morning side.
Oh,
he would tell me which side he painted it on.
That's looking like the pole. Look at the square now. Now we're getting. Look at this here. This is right.
Yeah.
Look, that's the match
Yeah,
of
the
that.
poles,
the,
yeah,
the poles are right now.
Yeah,
Look,
and
now
we're
looking
standing
at
in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
This is Does this look familiar with the train going over? Because I mean, what a great shot that would be.
It would be a good shot.
Yeah, I can't believe this is happening.
Okay, so the blaze on.
Toot the horns! Right. He loves that picture, right? It's like, I've got to go there one day.
The Ray is like here. There's
Yeah.
Ray Street and one way.
And where's Westchester?
There's Westchester. The sign's sticking out. That's pretty. We're getting there because it's popping out the back there.
Yeah, and
But
we've
you've got the
the
angles close. That it's almost like I don't know. Yeah, how you've
Now
got
we
it.
got the guys going down underneath. Okay.
I'll do the Dust to Lizzie because that's close. And then we're going to leave the South Bronx. Oh my, South Bronx.
South Bronx. South Bronx.
South Bronx.
South Bronx.
In getting the background, the context, you can see what a challenge it was driving around looking for the perfect thing, then catching. Remember, there'd be maybe one car every 10 trains or less. Sometimes one day you could go out and never get any.
There it is. It's the only building.
It's the only tall enough building to be above it like that.
This, right?
Graffiti?
Martha took this photograph.
I took this photo like 30 years ago, and it actually wasn't from the top, but it was.
It looked like over here, right?
Yeah.
That's
It is over here.
It was one block over.
Yeah, so we wanted to. We came back to see what it looks like now.
Where y'all from?
London.
I like the way you took London.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way up.
So you want to go? I mean, we're at the right. The other one that you said. Like this.
24 years and 7 months I've had this copy of the book, and it's here now. And this is the photo that was taken right over here with the trains going around the bend now. But how did you know that he'd done this? Was that a surprise, or was that one of the...
Surprise.
And he'd done America. I mean, that's unusual to get a thing, especially today.
Completely unusual. I had no idea that was coming.
Can't believe him here. Blade's around the corner. There's Blade. What more do you want? As good as it gets. Woohoo! Look, there's a van going by with a JA on it. There's a van with a JA that's going past on it. So Peter Doig was my tutor when I was at the Royal College, so he was a bit of an influence on me, but how I was influenced by Peter Doig as well is I saw how he'd like get photographs that he liked of, say, like a snowboarder or something, and then do a painting from that of like the snowboarder, and then from photographs that he liked, kind of atmospheric photographs, like black and white photographs and things like that. And then Chris Affidi as well was like sort of working from things that he liked, like hip hop and sort of he was my tutor for it when I was at Royal College as well. And then I realised from them that I could sort of bring more fun stuff into my paintings that I was really into. To start with, I wasn't even going to do. I didn't know how it affected me, but basically, after seeing the street and everything, it just really caught me. Like I'm doing the painting with the clean train on it, interpreting this photograph and it's about my obsession with where the graffiti used to be. But with my obsession to complement it, then I felt now it gave me license at last to break in to actually doing a huge copy of a Martha Cooper photograph. I love this image with the midge and the rainbow, and I think it's a very powerful image from 1983 and how New York was at the time. But I just think it's an amazing thing to like start to make paintings and then from a photographer's photographs who you really admire, and then you end up meeting them, and then you go to look at the spot, and you know, what a journey. I think it's like the journey that's important, and going through all that and what I can bring into painting in the future. So it's just been it's been incredible. I feel like changed, and that has changed my life forever, and my painting, how I paint will always be different from going through this experience. One thing's for sure, as long as I can lift up as long as I don't go blind, I might even paint if I go blind, and even if I had my both arms and legs cut off, I'll probably paint my mouth. It'll be like, I'll still be painting like that, and I'm blind. It'll be like this, look. Or like my feel, and then it'll be like, oh, a little brighter and a little darker. So unless you kill me, I'm going to keep painting the end.
The moonlight on Funky City. Wait a minute, out of the darkness, a tall figure appears. Who is he?
When I saw Subway, that just like knocked me over. I've never even recovered from it. Look at the state of me. Look at that. When I go with a bomb here, that's on the bomb chase. We're here from still chasing bomb. That's what's going to go off my I've cocktail. Boom. The end is that I'm going to have a fight with Midge. No, I'm not. Midge is probably going to shoot me, and then that's how I die. Hopefully Midge will shoot me for plagiarising his artwork. I can't just let loose. I'm going to see Blade the Crazy Fire. I don't need attention. I don't need attention. I don't need attention. Don't give me any attention. I'm not an attention seeker. Right car, blue brake. Get me out, I'm stuck out my bum. Take me back to New York.